Hey everybody, we have another Eagle's Nest video with Tesero. And we all know Tesero, he's that guy that always makes purple decks, and he's also the number one person for playing the most tournaments at Eagle's Nest. Tesero, how are you doing today?
Yeah. I'm doing pretty all right, other than a couple of technical difficulties, but I got all that squared away. But yeah, pretty good day today, considering it's been a hot minute since I played in Eagle's Nest.
Yep.
I missed last Monday, and you've been telling me that I need a couple more couple more points to catch up into
Yeah.
the into reaching the season 9 top 8, so I can reach.
Yeah, so today this
Mhm.
is not updated yet. This will be tonight or tomorrow morning, but you have 18 points and you're sort of competing to try to get into top 8 here. You need 41. I
Oh, I'm
mean,
really far behind. Yeah.
well, it's not that hard to catch up because we only use your top best 5 performances. So that's Passion, for example, who's in number one right now. But you've only really played or topped in 2 tournaments this season, including
Yeah.
today. So now you're going to have a first, which means you're going to get another 15. You have 18 points now, so that's going to put you at 30, 33 points. So you're gonna shoot up a lot. You're gonna be at least around here, 10th place-ish. No, 12th. But yeah, you're gonna be okay.
Mhm.
Let's go back to the
Yep.
actual tournament though. So we had 11 people today. You played off against two beat break decks, and what was the other deck you played off against?
Angels.
Angels and Angel OTK, I guess, and two beat breaks. So let's look at your deck. So you're
Mhm.
doing some things that are not I wouldn't say it's obvious in Beelstar, but you were telling me that you did not come up with these ideas. So tell me, where did you come up with the ideas to put the unique cards in your deck?
Yeah, from what you told me, the cards that look unique to you are like Ruin Mode, Louis, Titamon. I mean, those are like generic techs. They're pretty great. I mean, we've seen from Donkey Nog or Momin's list that he's running the Louis and the Ruin Mode. They're just amazing generic cards. The Ruin Mode is just amazing generic purple top end, especially right now. There's a lot of decks that like to hold like level threes in the back to use their start of mains or their when moving effects. And it's just a good way to like if you're just either if you're just short of OTKing and need to buy a turn, it can buy you a turn, or if say you're on a turn where you can't kill this turn because there's not a lot of rush in this deck, you can like again stall a turn to hold up for the next. So it's like a pretty amazing card to be running in this deck. Because that's like a general thing that BL Star needs to account for. Um, because like sure it's really good at OTKing when you find all your bind red triggers and you find your BL star and your BL star X and you get to like pull that all off. But the nice thing about BL star is it also has game even when you aren't sort of like just OTKing. Um, you can like clear boards really easily and you can like rebuild from nothing pretty easily, especially once you have your Asana set up. But it's not perfect. There are still decks that can just sort of also play from nothing and win. So it feels like you also need that little bit extra oomph, and that extra oomph comes in clutch when it comes with a Louis and Ruin mode. Do really give you that. You can either stall turns or just like have a sudden move up turn. Louis in general is just amazing in this deck because there's a lot of synergies. Unfortunately, Sparrow doesn't synergize, but Ghazi does because his effect is when moving.
Hmm.
So you can like suddenly like on a turn where like after you've moved up and then turn afterwards you have to like they cleared your BL star, you hatch, you can evolve Ghazi, then go Louis move up and then go when moving Ghazi mon effect, and if you hit an option card you can then like immediately trigger Pagumon and pop off from there, which is really nice. Like it helps especially if you're just looking to um, win the game on that turn, because now after you've made your second stack, you should have seen much more of your deck, and you're much more likely to have found all the pieces that you're missing.
And so,
Um, that's
what's the
also
Titamon for then?
yeah, that has like a very similar role. Because like I mentioned before, this deck doesn't have rush, but Paidamon Skelbaluki does. So I really like playing aggressively. So I like moving up early, and then if you do that, you can like swing early and potentially like trash security early with like Bind Red Trigger. And in those scenarios, if you're, like I said, Gale Star generally doesn't have a lot of protection. You have like Satellamon, maybe that's it, and like an on deletion effect. People can really play through that. A lot of decks can play through that really easily. Um, so what Titamon Skulbaluki gives to you is that since we only have one Louis available to us, since it's limited, it gives you like an alternative way to sort of like win the game like out of nowhere, right?
Hmm.
You can you can play Scopemon either from your hand or off of an a 3 cost Asana. Then you know you have so much memory generation off the Scopemon plus Hurricane Screw Shot plus 4 cost Asana. You can not too difficultly make a BL Star and keep turn. From there, you can use a bind red to trash security, go into BL Star X, trash 2 more security. And if that puts them to 0, you can evolve into Titamon Skulbaluki and execute swing for game because you'll have rush.
Hmm.
So it's just like a another way to like make the deck even more aggressive, right? It allows you to like move up early and not get punished for it.
So the other effects it has are not really the point. It's just you just want an extra punch with this guy.
Yeah, it's basically just an extra punch, kind of like a Omnimon X sort of for the deck. It does
Interesting.
have some synergies with the other pieces, like the the when digivolving when attacking clear can be nice. It can be like if BL Star isn't enough to clear the bodies on board,
Hmm.
you know, it's another 2 deletions. And technically speaking, the on deletion part of it also still has some synergy in the deck because for whatever reason, Lady Devi is a Titan trait, so you can play it off the on deletion.
Not
Not the Lady
this
Devi,
one. Where does it say? Oh, Lady
Lady
Devi.
Devi,
Lady Devi.
level
Yep.
5.
Yeah, figured that out. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool. There's also the image training, which we don't really see in TS anymore. We don't see I mean, like in Liberator, sure, there's a lot of training, but not in TS too much. Is this card in the deck to search? Is it in the deck because you need to like bank some memory for a burst the following turn, or is it like is it for both reasons?
it's good for both. Yeah, it's good for both, especially since it's one of the double color trainings that can be used for free. So even if you have only like Kapurimon or Toyagumon in raising, you can
Hmm.
still use it.
Yeah, it's
Um,
fantastic,
some
right?
decks are listing, yeah, yeah. So and some decks are running two because it really is nice for that extra consistency plus banking. Without it, it feels like you kind of limited in ways to bank memory.
Hmm.
It is just like evoing in the back can feel awkward because you miss out on some of your better rookie effects, like your Gazimons and your Sparrowmon effects. Um, Especially like if you do that, like if you move up Scopemon or Black Gato,
Okay.
you don't have like an immediate way to tuck cards underneath them to trigger Pagumon, right? Um, so banking memory can feel a little awkward in that sense. Obviously, it's still probably fine to like go all the way up to Lady Devi in the raising area because then you can just sort of like swing and trigger Black Gato effect or whatever to then like trigger Pagumon that way. Um, but there's just a lot of just general advantages to running in image training. Not to mention the fact that like it activates from security, which just gives you even more comeback potential if you're getting behind. And on top of that, it's an option card, and you can trash any option card to trigger the 4 cost Asuna.
I guess I was trying to look up the other trainings that were going to be coming up soon, but they're not showing up here. I guess they're LM, not promo. Uh,
Yeah, they're LM. You have to like search like asterisk training.
like like this asterisk.
Yeah, Shift 8 training. You should pull up all of them. Oh, does that not hit the?
It
Yeah, there
did.
they are.
Yeah. So I guess you'd be waiting for maybe this one would be good for you because Binding Red Trigger is so
Yeah,
important to the deck, and it's also
yeah.
going to hit everything that's purple. Might be the best one.
Yeah. Well, that's
Okay.
LM9, so that's not out until like maybe like the end, close to the end
Uh,
of the year, right?
it's end of November.
Yeah. So that's a while from now.
I'm waiting for that also.
So
Okay,
until
yeah, I was just
then, it's
curious.
probably the best one, right? To run. I mean, it's the only one that's purple, and it doesn't really matter. It's
But
it's just strictly better than
it's
running one copy of Wisdom Training because you can use it
yeah.
without having color requirements, and you can play it. It searches out of security. It's
Is
pretty
there
fantastic
no
for
need
that.
to play anything like Jack Raid in this deck or anything else that might be powerful but limited since it's only a one of?
Um, I'll have to look through the limited cards. One thing I have to admit is that I've kind of based my list for the most part off of the other lists that have won regionals. So, both Onion and Momin's list from the Peoria regional, and I also looked at the list that won the TAC regional just list recently. That's where I got the idea to run Titamon Skullbaluki from.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kind of a fan of that.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, you don't have like out of like the limited like free option memory games, Jackraid is the only one you really have access to, like at the most part. Like, sure, Toyagu can turn on Gravity Crush, but he's like, a 3 of in this whole deck. It's not going to be on for the most part. And most of the other decks, or most of the other cards here that are limited, just don't have a lot of like reasons. Just don't have like a lot of synergies or anything. There's quite a few. I feel like there at this point might be kind of chaff. They're either for other colors or other decks, right? And I don't think this deck feels trash fast enough for
Yeah.
Jackraid to be relevant. And on top of that, it's also
It's kind of like a
memory
hammer
efficient
spark,
enough.
probably because it's gonna hard to reach 20. 10 is probably
Yeah,
the norm.
yeah. You end games fast enough that you're not going to reach 10 in trash fast enough for it to matter, and you're already super memory efficient with your Sculptmon Bind Red Trigger
Mm-hmm.
Asuna nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Or not Bind Red Trigger. Hurricane Screw
Oh,
Shot.
this one that gives you the memory. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those cards together are just like you can generate so much memory. And on top of that, when you play your 3 cost Asuna, so many decks are going to be trying to turn that off from you and then passing you 5+, and at that point you basically just like have the whole world available to you, right?
I think that's interesting that they would prioritize turning her off when, uh, you know, I mean, it depends. If you already have,
Mhm.
you really want this Asuna out, right? And so if you
Yeah,
have her out already, I think that it's a kind of a moot point to just try to stop
yeah, a
her
lot of
because
times.
this is going to give
Yeah,
you
there are
like 2
times
memory.
where,
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, there are times depending on the scenario where like, um you know if just like the way the hand works out, sometimes I'm in a scenario where I like play the 3 cost Asuna and like the 4 cost one ends up in the trash, and that's like the only way for me to get to it is to hope that they allow me to use my 3 cost Asuna effect to get to the 4 cost Asuna, and at that point it cuts me off. So one thing I got to get better at was to maneuver it in a way where I sort of catch 22 them, where it's like if they put me to 5, then I have enough memory to pop off, and if they put me to less than 5, then I can trigger the 3 cost Asana and then get enough value off of that to like pop off anyway. And that's just been sort of like a sort of like a resource management thing for me that I had to like get better at as I practice this deck.
I have a question about where you see this deck positioned in the meta. I would consider it one of the more powerful decks that are around right now, but at the same time, it's not an easy deck to play, so it kind of gatekeeps people out of playing it. And because Beat Break is
Mhm.
so popular, but really its only weakness are options, and you're an options central deck, do you think that your deck's power and popularity is only because it only exists as a response to Beat Break or Glowing Dawn? Or do you think that even if Glowing Dawn did not exist, this deck would still be up there with the best decks?
That's hard to say because, like, today I kind of ran into enough Glowing Dawn decks that, it made today's tournament very, I wouldn't say easy. That feels disrespectful to my opponents, but like, I feel like I didn't get to run into a lot of my, like, tougher matchups,
Mm-hmm.
right? It is still, like, a really, really good matchup for me to run into Glowing Dawn so much. And I think it does help the PL Star quite a bit. Like, right now, I would say it is kind of like the best deck in format because it's so well positioned right now. Um, if Glowing Dawn wasn't so popular, I I can't really tell whether or not it would still be the best. It might fall down a little bit, but I think that the strengths of Beelstar are so readily apparent. It's just such a like efficient and powerful deck on its own that would still be quite up there,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Last question. Do you have a favorite card in the deck?
Ooh, that's hard to say because there's a lot of really good ones to be honest. What is my favorite card in the deck?
Would your criteria be like the card that
Probably.
makes you win the most, or it's the most happy you're most happy when you see it, or maybe something out of the story or canon that you enjoy just playing with that card?
Honestly, if for the cards that like when I see it, I'm like happy to see it. It helps me win. It's got to be Louis. Louis is crazy. If that ever gets unlimited, it'll never get unlimited. But the moment it does, we're immediately playing more copies of it. It's crazy good. But especially with moving effects, that can never come off.
Wow.
Yeah, it feels like anytime I see Louis, my like the win rate just like jumps up exponentially.
You might start influencing more people to just play Louis in general, like not just Beelstar, but in every deck, just because you said that.
Mhm.
All
I
right.
feel like that could be. I feel like I've been having this conversation with other people as well. That like that might be a trend going forward. Is that people are going to start realizing that splashing Louis in your decks is just really good right now.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Tesero. That was an awesome interview. Thanks for showing us how you play Beelstar, and have a great rest of your night.
Thank you for having me.